I totally just started to do this intro and the camera was not recording, so off to a great start. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Saoirse Bray. I'm a writer and a knitter. This is going to be my first ever writing and knitting vlog, so I hope you're excited. I'm actually coming to you guys, I'm currently editing this vlog and coming back to film an intro because I didn't really film an intro, and then I had a section of the vlog that basically like the start of the vlog where I was just rambling for way too long. So this vlog covers 2 days, November 18th and November 19th. I'm basically chatting a little bit about my nano project in this vlog. I don't actually do any writing in this vlog because, as I will, I think, talk about in this vlog if I didn't cut this part out, that I am trying to refill my creative well right now. I basically just needed to take a break from actually writing, but the ideas have still been coming in. During the time of this vlog, I was sitting at 13,554 words towards my nano project. So the other thing that I wanted to add in here is that I took that Friday off, the Friday that this vlog starts on. I had taken a mental health day because I had been up pretty much all night worrying and crying about my other dog, not this one, but my other dog Luca, who is an older dog. She's fine now, but we were concerned because she hadn't really been eating and she had been losing a lot of weight, but she went to the vet. She has gained some weight back, and so the vet thinks that she is, for the most part, currently out of the woods, but because she's an older dog, I was really stressed about that. I did not know what was going to happen at that vet appointment, if they were going to tell us, like, it's time, you know, I didn't know. And so I decided that Friday would be a great time to start this vlog, because once I heard the good news, then I was like, okay, I can relax now. And then I had the day off already because I had already called in, you know, sick. I told my boss I needed a mental health day, and I told him what was going on and everything. He's like, sure, that's fine. So I'm already off work, so I'm just going to enjoy the day because it's a good day because my dog is better. So yeah, so that's kind of, I just mentioned that in the vlog and I just wanted to give you guys that context. And then the last little bit for this intro is that the portion that is about to play after this, I'm just talking about my thoughts about nano, and it's gonna kind of seem like you're coming in halfway through the conversation, and you are, because I took a bunch of stuff out because, again, I was rambling. So that's all you need to know. I hope this intro is short and sweet and to the point, but I had to come in with some context, otherwise you guys would be kind of confused, and then I didn't actually film an intro at all. But let's go ahead and get into the vlog. I know, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, I'm probably not going to focus as much on writing as I should be if I wanted to complete my, 50,000 words. However, I just don't care, to be completely honest. I love nano, I love the spirit of nano, and I'm so grateful that I decided to do it this year because A, I got a totally new story idea that came out of it, and B, I have progress towards that story, and C, I learned how to outline. I mean, I'm no expert at it and there's so many different ways you can do it, but I learned a method of outlining this time around, which is really, really cool, and I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't tried to do something for nano. So that being said though, I'm not pushing myself to hit that goal. I honestly don't care. If I do get closer to that goal, that's amazing, of course. We always love to see more writing getting done, but I'm not gonna push myself, I'm not gonna pressure myself, I'm not really gonna think about it too much. Any of you who are stressing out about nano, just remember that you're here for the progress, you're here for the journey, for the process, for the things that you might get out of it that have nothing to do with word count. Maybe you've met some writing friends, maybe you got a new story idea like I did. Maybe you started your YouTube channel just to vlog for nano, right? Like, there's different things that come out of nano, and I actually want to give a huge shout out to JC Carpenter for talking about this on her channel in her most recent video that I just watched. She was talking about how it's not just about like finishing and hitting the deadline. It's the fact that maybe you met some new people, or maybe you wrote more than you would have otherwise, and like those are all good things, even if you don't totally hit the thing. Aside from that whole topic, I was meditating last night actually, because I was really going through it last night. Randomly out of nowhere just got this idea while I was trying to go to sleep that for my nano story for Project Gemstones, I was thinking, I really don't like so all the chapters that I've been writing that are from Bridget's point of view and from Prue's point of view, I hate them. I hate them. I love the characters. I hate all of the writing that I've done for their points of view. Blaze's point of view, obviously, like, it's gonna need some work, but I'm really liking it. Like, I think I lost a little bit of steam with his, part of the story, but so far the setup for that has been going well. Like, when I was writing his intro, his inciting incident, all of that stuff, it was working. But with Bridget and Prue, it's just not working. And I realized Bridget and Prue actually know each other already. Prue has been hanging out with Bridget this whole time, and instead of them kind of crossing paths sort of by accident, Prue's gonna be Bridget's kind of sidekick in a way. But Prue is kind of a little bit of a screw up. Her background is going to kind of stay the same. However, a lot of the things, because I kind of had her with, like, she had all these friends who were actually really shitty, and she kind of came from like a wealthy family, so she's always kind of not taken things seriously or like understood consequences and things like that. And so I was going to have her kind of go through that, where she like sees her friends are really shallow and don't actually care about her, and they're not really good connections for her to have. But I think like all of that stuff I want to be her background that we'll touch on in flashbacks, things like that. So when I was like having a hard time writing that prank scene, I think this is why, because my brain or my soul or whatever knew that that wasn't the direction I wanted to go anyways. And it actually works so much better, and it's less of a like hand of God thing where they just so happen to be in the same place at the same time and meet each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it works a lot better in my opinion, and I'm excited to go back and rewrite those scenes, which might be what I do, because I think I'll have a hard time moving forward with the way things are written. I think I need to get those foundational scenes with this new dynamic between these two characters. I need to write those in order to continue. So the last half of Nano will be me rewriting those scenes, or at least attempting to rewrite those scenes. We'll see how far I get. And then if I do happen to finish those, then I'll keep going with the story, but I've got to get those initial scenes rewritten because they're the foundation of the story. So if I keep trying to write without exploring this dynamic a little bit more, I think I'm just gonna end up scrapping way more in the long run. At some point in this vlog, I want to show you guys my knitting projects or talk about them a little bit, because I want to start talking about that too on this channel. I did get some Amazon packages just delivered just now. Okay, so I bought needles, knitting needles, and they looked like they were good quality. So these are supposed to be size 9, but also they're like kind of bent, like they're not completely straight. I guess that's what I get for ordering these on Amazon from like a unknown brand. I don't remember picking this one. I'm so confused. Like, it was definitely me, because at first I was like, oh, they fucked up and sent me the wrong ones, but no, this is the one I ordered. It's just like, obviously they're super cheap and the pictures make them look like they're nice and they're not. So Okay, so that's a little bit of a bummer because those were not what I was expecting, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. So then I got this yarn. I don't know what I bought this for. Like, again, I'm so confused. I just need to find a pattern because I specifically bought this yarn because it was the exact same one in the pattern. So this is the Lion Brand Yarns Vanna's Choice in the shade Barley. Holy crap, this is beautiful. I just want to preface this by saying I've been knitting for like, I learned how to knit when I was in middle school badly, and I've kind of on and off knitted ever since. However, because it's always been on and off, I've never really completed anything but scarves. So I don't know a ton. I didn't know what blocking was until recently. So I'm like still a beginner with knitting. So keep that in mind. Like, don't necessarily take knitting advice from me. And I'm saying that this yarn looks absolutely stunning. It's got like, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of got like some glitter in it, but I don't know if it's like a good quality or not. Like, I don't really know what to look for. It was a little over $8, so pretty inexpensive compared to yarns I find at most yarn shops, assuming they're, yeah, because it's acrylic-ish, acrylic and rayon. So obviously like not like organic cotton or wool or whatever, you know. So but it is really beautiful, and I want to practice on inexpensive yarn because like knitting projects are so expensive. Like, they really can run up, you know. I bought a bunch of other yarn from a different, like, an online yarn shop, and it was a lot. So this is what I bought that yarn for, because it specifically said that that's the yarn that they use here. Exact same brand, exact same kind. I just picked a different color. That's what these knitting needles were for. So we'll see if I can make these work. They feel very cheap. I do not have high hopes, but maybe they'll surprise me. Did I read reviews? Absolutely not, because that would have been a smart thing to do. That's one knitting project that I have. And then the other thing that I bought, let's see if this is actually, this I actually got through a recommendation, like from a video. They linked to this product, said this is what they were using, and they seemed to know what they were doing, so I have higher hopes. I didn't know that it came in a cute little pouch either, so that's kind of neat. All these crochet hooks. My mom will be happy because I can give some of hers back to her. These are metal though, and I don't know how well I'm gonna like metal. These feel like they're more ergonomic. I'm not sure how to say that word. Oh, and it comes with tapestry needles. I didn't know that. I needed more of these. It is 3:11. I went over to my parents' house this morning like I normally do on Saturdays. I'm still working on my coffee from this morning. So obviously you guys saw I've been working on my scarf, and last night, I don't know if you probably tell from the footage, that I had to frog that project multiple times. Like, it happened at least 3 times. I had to rip everything out. I was struggling with the pattern so much. Like, every time any of the rows that aren't just purl, you know, all the way across, I kept like just getting the stitches out of order. Like, I would accidentally knit when I was supposed to be yarning over, and knitting when I was supposed to be knitting 2 together. And so I kept being like one off, and I'd get to the end of the row and I wouldn't have enough stitches left on the needle to like finish out the pattern on that row. I had to like knit backwards to undo it all, which I just learned that that is called tinking, and I think that's so cute because it's tink, it's knit spelled backwards because you're knitting backwards. So clever. I love it so much. But I didn't know there was an actual term for what I was doing. But yeah, I was knitting backwards to undo what I had done. And the biggest mistake that I made was I accidentally did, so the pattern is like, you know, rows 1 and 3 have like you knit and then you yarn over and then you knit together and then you knit, and then, you know, it's all of that. Each even row is just purling all the way across. So I accidentally skipped one of the purl rows. So I had like the more complicated rows. And when I realized what I had done, I went to unknit that to, you know, undo my stitches. And when I got to almost the end of the row that I was trying to undo, the stitches weren't, like, I couldn't get back into the stitch. They had become too tight. And I just had to just take the whole thing apart because it would just have probably broken if I had tried to do anything more with it. I just couldn't get those stitches undone. And at that point I was just really frustrated with it. So I was like, I'm just going to start fresh, because after that I started to finally get the hang of it. So I was like, I can just start over and hopefully I'll have the hang of it. And I did. I feel like now I have more awareness of when I'm messing up and how to find it, like how to look back and see where did I go wrong with the pattern so I can go back and correct it. But so far I'm making decent progress on it, and I do feel like I'm getting more comfortable with the pattern. I now have it memorized, so I don't have to like keep referring back to the pattern, which is nice. This is where we're at. We're making, you know, steady progress. This is it's 62 stitches on the needle, so it does kind of take a while to get through each row. At least for me, I'm not like the fastest knitter, but I can start to see kind of the pattern coming through. I think this would have looked a lot better if I had a multicolored yarn, but this yarn I kind of think is cursed. It's not a bad yarn, I just think that this particular ball of yarn is cursed. I don't know why, I just have always had a problem with it. Every time like the amount of times that I've been working with just this yarn, like this specific section of yarn, is crazy. Like, I'm surprised that it hasn't completely frayed and like become unusable, because I've had to like redo it so many times. I'm gonna just keep knitting today. So I don't know if I'm gonna do any writing. I think I need to like so I have some thoughts that I'm gonna share with you, but I need to like rejuvenate myself. I need to like fill my creative well again. And then the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, I got some more yarn today. So this I bought on Amazon. It is the Bernat baby blanket. So super soft. And I'm not sure what they're made of. Polyester. And these are, oh, it's a little lilac dove is the color, I think. So I'm actually using this for, I don't want to say what project it is. I'm gonna tell my mom not to watch this video. I'll be like, I will take back all your presents if you watch this video, mother. But I'm gonna be making my mom little sock booties with these. I saw a YouTube video on it, and I'm gonna crochet it. And it looked really easy. So I felt like it would be a good project to continue to learn how to crochet. And yes, then my other thing that I wanted to show you. So this right here, as you can see, has got 3 little shelves here. So remember what it looks like. Okay. So I'm going to be using that as my new yarn storage. So that was one of the things that was in my bathroom. And today I was looking at it and I was like, I could put yarn in that. I think I need to wipe it down a little bit because I think it was extra dusty, but I did dust it off. So I'm gonna kind of give it a good wipe down, and then I will put some of my yarn in there and we're gonna start storing yarn.
Tryna stay out the way, I've been on my own, working trying to make a way, I finally got the Jones. It's just time to make a way, can't go back to where I was. They can't see I changed, they're just seeing who I was.
Hello. It is 7:32. I've been knitting for, I don't know, I ate dinner at like 5:30. I've just been knitting ever since. My arms are tired. I have been knitting and I've made quite a bit of progress, as you guys can see. It's looking a lot longer. However, I think you guys can probably tell this right here, how it's going like that, is not supposed to be there. I messed up and I couldn't figure out how, and it was like too many rows previous, I think, to where I was at, and so I had like somehow gotten from 62 stitches to 61 stitches. So as you can see, like something here got shifted over or something. If I had caught it, I would have been able to redo it, but I didn't catch it until like 2 rows later, and then at that point I was like, oh shit, I think I just have to go with it. But I don't know, it's probably fine. Like with the whole scarf, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell, but as I was looking at it, I just don't know that I'm the biggest fan of this pattern. I mean, I don't think it's like ugly or anything. I'm just not sure that I really see myself wearing a scarf like this. So I don't know. I just don't know that I don't know that I love it, and I know I could just like keep knitting it for the practice and that would be perfectly fine. Even if I have no intention of like wearing this, I could give it to a friend, or my mom would probably wear it. I just don't know that I necessarily like it, but I do really like this color of yarn, and I really want, I don't know, I want to do something with this yarn where I'm actually going to like the color. So I'm kind of thinking about like frogging it and just scrapping it, pulling out all of the rows here and just doing something else with this. So this is the hat that I want to make. Just a cable hat. But yeah, this is not going to be a knitting pattern that I can do probably while watching like TV or anything. I'm probably gonna have to really focus on this one. So I think I can do the gauge tonight, but I'll also need to wind this up, and I will have to do that by hand because I don't have a fancy thing that does it for me. I will probably try to do that tonight and just watch some YouTube videos while I do it. I have been watching more I'm not exactly sure how to say her username, but she's a crocheter and a knitter. She does knitting vlogs and like stuff, so I've just been like binging her. I went back through her videos and found where she like started knitting, and she only has been knitting for like a year or like over a year, and I'm surprised because I've watched like her most recent knitting vlog, and she was knitting like some crazy amazing stuff, and I was just like, wow, she must be super experienced, like she must have been knitting for years. But then I went back and I saw a video from like a year ago where she's like, I'm knitting for the first time, and I was like, that means that I could like knit some of this stuff in a year. Like I could get good at this like in a quicker amount of time. I mean, she might be just really good at picking this stuff up, but it just gives me hope, basically, is what I'm saying, that like I could get pretty good at it in a shorter amount of time than I thought, you know? I do need to do some yoga though. My back is hurting and my hips have been hurting, probably because I've been sitting a lot, both for work and for knitting. Yeah, I'm gonna do some yoga, probably take another shower, and then I'm going to wind this up and hopefully do the gauge tonight and see if these needles will do, and maybe potentially place an order for more needles because I actually surprisingly don't have that many needles. Hey guys, so I just showered, changed into my PJs, and I did some yoga before that. It was amazing. I will leave a video that I did. It was a yoga with Adriene video. I'll leave it linked in the description. It was one for your hips, and oh my god, I just forgot how amazing doing like hip opening stretches feels, and it just was exactly what I needed. So definitely check it out if that's your thing. I have not done this yet. So I looked at the pattern again just now because I was just kind of thinking that this didn't look, I mean, I can't really eyeball that and like actually tell accurately or anything, but it just sort of was like, is this gonna be enough? And I looked at the pattern again and it's not. So I might go ahead and order another one because the hat also has a little, you know, pom-pom on it. The pattern says that you need 170 yards and this one's only 145 yards. And I think I didn't think about it because I was buying the exact same type of yarn that the pattern used, but I don't know if they just don't put as much yarn in these skeins anymore, or if there was like a bigger skein that I could have gotten. So I'm gonna get these rolled up and then call it a night probably. That's it for this vlog. Sorry there was no actual writing in it, but I'm still gonna call it a knitting and writing vlog because we did talk about my nano project and I gave, you know, updates on it and stuff, so I'm still counting it as a writing vlog, even though I didn't actually get any words written. I hope you enjoyed this kind of mashup of a knitting vlog and a writing vlog. If you like this edition of knitting on my channel, definitely let me know. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry to say that I don't actually care, and I will continue to talk about my knitting on here because I'm just obsessed with the concept of a knitting vlog. I love it. So I don't know, I feel like I finally found my place in the world. So I'm just gonna have fun with that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how your nano project is going. If you are a knitter or a crocheter, let me know how your knitting and crocheting projects are going, or if you do any other types of, you know, sewing or whatever, let me know how everything is going for you. What are you working on? So don't forget to subscribe before you go if you haven't done so already. And if you want to go ahead and leave me a comment and give this video a thumbs up, those things would really help out my channel. Again, if you are a writer, a knitter, a crocheter, and also a content creator, let me know. I would love to connect. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Happy writing, happy knitting, happy crafting, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye.
All right, this is a song that I wrote about falling too fast, but I wouldn't know anything about that.
I don't wanna lose my grounding, so you catch me not responding. And I press my lips together so you don't find any answer.